angry right now is because of the chocolate. So, Subha, your speech was about leadership and how you view leadership and your advices, your storytelling on it. So I'm going to divide my evaluation on two parts. First will be content, second will be style. So for your style, I'm going to say some really good things that I saw, and I've seen you improve over time, which I think should be mentioned. Firstly, your clarity of speech is really good. You're very clear with your words, you're enunciating, which is always a good thing. You have really good tone, where you're not monotonous, you're going up and down, and you use really good hand gestures, so that's always a plus. You've good eye contact as well, so eyes to eyes, that's really good. So some things that I think you should improve on in terms of your speaking are firstly, your use of space. You don't really have spatial awareness yet. So the speech is always divided into three parts: first, second, third. So if you're talking about 3 points, try and use the first point here, second point here, third point here. So now you've reached level 4, which means you should be okay, comfortable standing here and talking, which means you should become more aware of how you're doing it as well. So more so than being nervous, you should be aware of how you need to get your body posture across to the audience. And then another thing that I really think you should focus on now, especially in your next speech, is pacing yourself. You speak really fast, and I mean that's always a plus because you can have like added impact to your words, but at the same time when you're telling stories, you need to have like ups and downs. So when you said the story about the butterfly, which is a really good story, I needed to hear some pauses so I can react, or some like really dramatic pause, or like really slow words to like reinforce the points. So try and take note of that. And worst come to worst, like just try and breathe. Every time you realize you're talking too much, just breathe. No one will die. Like no, because as a speaker, sometimes you're aware that you're doing this, but you don't know how to stop. So like just breathe. No one will realize. Okay. So that's 2 points that I think you can improve on. And one last thing is signpost. So signpost is really important. Like I told you, I'm going to talk about 2 things: content and style. So the audience will wait for me to talk about these 2 things. So now I'm talking about style. So for example, you said really good things. You talked about your own style, what leadership means, you give advice, and then you give importance of leadership in the home, in the workplace, in school. So these things are really good. But as an audience, sometimes if there's too much info, I don't know what to focus on. So try and keep note of the signposting, stick to 3. In Toastmasters or in speeches, we keep rule of thirds. So if it's 3 points, you can go like sub-point, paragraph, whatever, but keep to 3, and then we'll be able to remember. So that's for style. For content, you used a really interesting quote in the beginning, and I want to comment on that. So I was sitting at the back, and in my mind, I was, I'm a very firm believer in competitive speaking. So I was like, no, Subha, you have to go on. But then I was trying to see what the other experts do, and they actually supported you, and I was actually very proud of them. But let's talk about feeding the fish and learning how to fish. This is just advice for you and everyone. When you make a speech, this is a given. You will think your speech will go a certain way, but it will never ever be as good or as fantastic as you thought it was, especially while you're giving it. So you will have this moment of like, oh shit, I screwed up this part, now everything else is going to go downhill. That's like psychology of, no. That's the psychology of speeches, where if you're giving speeches, right, once something goes wrong, you will immediately think no. And this is where you have to break through. You say, it was bad, no, keep going, like I am right now. So yeah, and then, so I'm going to summarize the last 2 points. You use stories. Really good for leadership, because leadership is really about analogies. So the metamorphosis story was really good. That's when the butterfly turns into when you get a butterfly, and the struggle of leadership. And then and it was really philosophical, don't you guys think? Yeah? It was really philosophical. So I think you have really good content, Subha. Like I think your speeches, if you focus on like being very philosophical in speeches, you can go really far, because that's like your added advantage. You're very good at analyzing things. So if you just own that and start like speeches, like because you started with the quote naturally, so you're like a shifu. So own the shifu within you and like garner your speeches towards that, and I will really relate more to you. So good job, Subha. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Zubia.